Guys, it's me, and I'm back. Now, if you watched my last video, which chances are you didn't because it only got like 30 views as of me recording this, then you'll remember that I said I would post this about 2 days after that video, and it's now been almost a month, and the video has not been posted. That's for a few reasons. So, the number one reason, I just haven't cared to start editing these videos. Every time I do 100 days in Minecraft, it's roughly 30 hours of content that I have to look through. And then I have to edit that content, and then I have to voice over that content. And maybe if I was like earning money from YouTube, it would be like totally worth it. But when I only get like 30 views on a video, it's not always completely worth it to me, And so I just hadn't had a lot of motivation to do this. That, and then also, I'm going on a mission for my church soon, and I wasn't even sure when I'd be leaving. I found out the other day that I'll be leaving on September 28th, which is 4.5 days away as of recording this. So this is going to be, I think, my second to last video. Maybe my third to last, but probably my second to last video. It's also worth mentioning that I already... this is so painful. I already voiced over this video, like, for the last 40 minutes. I've been doing a voiceover, and then I went into the voiceover, and it wasn't working. Like, for whatever reason, the voice recording just completely stopped working. So I'm actually going to put that on the side of my screen so that I make sure it's working at all times, and I think we should be good to just continue. All right, so we start out this world. I wasn't really paying attention. So we cured Noi. Noi was my first villager that I ever got into my village. Noi is like the hero of the village. I know I got the achievement hero of the village. Actually, have I started a raid yet? No, I haven't started a raid. Eventually, I'll be the hero of the village, but Noi is the original hero of the village. He's the father of everyone. So we love Noi. And then this is Noi's friend, who doesn't have a name. I want him to get books of mending, though. I spend about 2.5 hours. I just completely made that up. It was probably only like an hour. But I spend roughly forever trying to get this guy to give me a book of mending. I went through 2 stone axes just to get it. But eventually I got it. And I was very happy because I think out of all of the enchantments, mending is top 3. I don't know about the top one. It's better than unbreaking. I don't know about prot, and I don't know about feather falling. Both of those, I think I'd rather have prot above everything else, especially seeing as this is a hardcore world. Oh, no! I completely forgot to mention that. That's the biggest reason that I haven't been, motivated to upload this. So, spoiler alert, if you've made it this far into the video. Most people don't even make it this far. As you guys know, this is hardcore Minecraft, or at least it's supposed to be. However, between days 220 and 225, I'm not exactly sure when, I end up dying. I go to the nether, I go into a bastion, and I don't come out of the bastion. And so I found a way to get the hardcore world back and make it look like hardcore. You guys would have never known, but that's stupid. I don't want to, lie to you guys because that's lame. So I just decided, I guess that's the end of the series. But then a little bit later, I was researching some stuff, and I found a way to turn this into just a normal survival world. And so I decided, you know what? That's not really cheating. If it was normal survival, I would just respawn anyways. So I had to respawn. I come back with none of my stuff, but I still have all of my base. And so, that's just normal survival. So I felt completely okay doing that. Yeah, eventually this is no longer a hardcore world, which is super sad. I did have to go back to that village one more time because I put Noi's friend, who gave me books of mending, on the other side. And so I had to get this fine lady, we'll call her Nancy. Noi's wife, Nancy, needed to be around so that they could have babies and actually populate a village for me. Because we currently have a population of 4, including myself, and I would need at least 71, including myself, to do the project that I wanted to do. So, here's my pets. I don't know why I included this. I'll go over why I have my pets later. The dog does not have a name. If you guys want to name my dog, please put your comments down below. I will consider your ideas for a name for my dog, because I have not named the dog yet. The cat, we'll go over the cat's name later. It's hilarious. It's the best joke I've ever made. Now, a lot of days, let's see, 120 through 200, were just a lot of this grind of feeding and breeding, and then doing whatever this is called with the librarians. So I had to feed the villagers. Well, I had to first give them an extra bed, and then I'd have to feed them so that they would have babies. And then I also had to lay lecterns and then delete lecterns until I got the book of trading enchantment book that I wanted. And this took so many hours. It had to have taken at least 8 hours total just to get a few of the enchantments that I wanted. Now, eventually, I'll make a villager trading hall where I put every single trade possible, but I don't even have a villager trading hall to put villagers in. So right now, I'm just looking for prot, mending. Well, we already have mending, prot, mending, and unbreaking, I think. Maybe feather falling. I don't know. Just my favorite trades. Here's the mob farm that we made in the last episode. This is the only time it was ever halfway effective, and it gave us almost nothing. That's why I didn't include the part of me building the entire thing, because it was just ugly. It didn't work out, and eventually I end up destroying it, so it's not worth showing. Because I had so many librarian villagers, I started planting lots of sugarcane. I figured my best way to get emeralds was going to be to sell paper to all of the librarians. I also learned that you can plant sugarcane directly on the water. I don't know if you're supposed to be able to do that or if it's just my computer lagging. I've got a really, really bad computer. First of all, it's not a computer, it's a laptop. Second of all, I got it for less than $100, which I'm not complaining about. That, like, that's a good deal. But it does die if it comes unplugged for even half a second. And it's really slow. It can only handle so much. But we'll take it, Like, I have fun making these videos. I get enough frames per second to make half decent videos, so it's good enough. After planting the sugarcane, I got a farmer villager. I want him to trade me carrots and wheat because that's what I was mainly growing in my garden. I think I mentioned in the last episode that the garden would end up being a super big help to me, and this was true. Without the garden, I would not be able to turn this place into a city. One, because I need to feed my villagers in order for them to have babies. And then two, I needed to sell food to the farmer villagers to get emeralds so that I could buy books of enchantment to make myself essentially super strong. So yeah, the garden was a super good idea. Here's me putting mending on my helmet as well as my boots. And just like that, I have full diamond armor with mending on every piece. Super exciting. And then because I didn't have a mob farm, the only way I was able to mend my armor was breeding. I guess trading gave me a little XP, but not really any. So the best way I found was just to get tons and tons of chickens or tons and tons of pigs, and then use all the extra seeds or all of my carrots from the garden, because they gave a pretty decent amount of experience. Okay, also I lied. Now I have mending on everything. I also had prot 3 and unbreaking 3 on my pants, which was super lucky. I got the prot and unbreaking from a anvil upgrade, and so I already had that on my pants. Eventually, I wanted unbreaking 3 and prot 4 on everything, and so I was so happy. Now this is the day that made me super sad. I was an idiot and failed to give them a proper enclosure, and so a zombie got in here. And I was trying to get out of here without letting them out of here, but I was about to die, so I just had to run. And unfortunately, Noi and Nancy both got out as well. And they were on fire. Well, one of them is. The other one's... Okay, now they're both on fire. And I thought I had lost them. But then I remembered there's a water pool over here. So if I just stand here, surely they'll just walk straight in there. No, they'll go completely around it and then die, because that only makes sense. It was very sad. We lost our town founder. Well, I'm the town founder, but they lost their original father. It was so sad. I took no time at all to change Taco Noi's taco bus taco license plate to Rip Noi. This would be now used as a memorial to remember Noi rather than to sell tacos. Not that it was ever going to sell tacos. There's no tacos in Minecraft. It could have been like cookies, though. So here's how the zombie got in. He spawned on the roof and then walked down here. I didn't put torches on the roof, and so mobs can spawn up there. I didn't really think that through. There's a lot of stuff I don't think through, though, so you can't really blame me. And then, yeah, I don't know who was infected first, but I guess they both ended up getting infected. Very sad, but at the end of the day, it's not much you can do about it other than move on. Remember Noi. I mean, we gotta remember him, but, you know, delete what was and build what will become. That sounded stupid. Anyways, I got rid of their whole enclosure, and here's the city now. It's not really a city. I just have my base, an ugly mob farm, and a lighthouse. But we're going to make it look good. However, before we can make this city look good, we have to take one quick stop right here. I told you guys I would be fighting the Ender Dragon, which I have never done in hardcore Minecraft, so I was super afraid. But I felt finally ready to do it with full diamond armor. There's people who beat the entire game in like 2 minutes, so I'm like, if I can't do this, then I'm actually bad, and maybe this series just should be over. I made a few of these on the base of the towers, just in case I accidentally ever looked at an Enderman. I could run under these and then be safe from them. I was just trying to cover all of my bases, because, you know, I only have one shot at this. After making those, I started shooting the dragon, and I'm a really bad shot. Like, really bad. It's not even funny. And so I decide, why not just take a sword to his face? This is a genius idea. It wasn't a genius idea. I also got glass bottles. I watched a video and said, bring glass bottles for all of this stuff. So I was at least smart to do that. I started attacking him, but I took insane amounts of damage just being there for half a second. So I decided it really probably was better to try to snipe him out with arrows. I also remembered that before I should start killing him, I should start taking out the things on top of these. The dragon obviously wasn't going to make that easy, but eventually I was able to do it. I got this one and the next one in a row. I know I made the cut there, but I actually did those, like, I made 2 shots in a row without missing it, so I was super happy about that. And then at first I started towering up all the towers with cobblestone, and then I'd bridge out a little ways, shoot an arrow at it, and it would kill it. This was the original way that I was getting rid of the ones in cages, but I came to find that a better way was, rather than bridging up like this, was to use water buckets. And by using 2 water buckets, you can actually do this with 1. If I were to fight the dragon again, I would just do it with 1. But I didn't realize you could do it with 1. So I'd use 2 buckets to just kind of tower up the tower like this. And this was actually super effective. I had to waste way less cobblestone getting this done. And it also made it so I had like a safe spot all the way up. If I was somehow knocked off, it didn't matter, because I would always land in the water again. And then once I was up there, I dropped down a little bit, bridge out, and shoot an arrow at the... I think it's called a nether star. I might be completely wrong there. Either way, I don't really care. This is my first time truly fighting the dragon, so it doesn't matter. I got the achievement Take Aim right there. I don't know what you have to do that. I'm assuming it's just hit something with a bow, but it might be hit something from 100 blocks away, because I know that's another one. The only reason I'm including this part of the recording right here is because of how many times in a row I hit the dragon. Or maybe not in a row, but I take like 10 shots and I hit 9 of them or something. It was a really good percentage of shots hit on the dragon. So that was pretty cool. I did miss the original crossbow shot because I didn't actually know how crossbows worked. But then once I got it working, it was working. And I was so happy because I was like, am I actually Hawkeye himself? Turns out I'm not Hawkeye himself. Because I then spent about 20 minutes trying to kill the dragon. And I would just miss shot after shot. The only good part of the entire fight was this right here. He flung me in the air. But it doesn't matter. MLG water bucket challenge, whatever you want to call it. Here's some instant replay. Oh, it was so good. I was so happy. After this, I had to like come hide over here and just like calm down for a second. I was freaking out. I could not believe I did that. Especially because you have to remember, my computer is terrible. Like, to do that successfully is so hard. I continued to miss 1,000 shots on the dragon, but eventually I did it. I got the achievement, free the end. I'd killed the dragon in hardcore, so I'm pretty much a professional Minecrafter now. And then this part of the video is going to sound a little bit scripted, but I don't know how I would have got this. I do know how I could have done this. It's more effort than it would be worth. So you just have to believe me when I say this is completely true. I collected all the experience and I was level 69. That's just hilarious. I promise I'm mature. After jumping in the portal, it sends you to this place, which you guys probably already know. I think I even remember this after defeating the dragon in creative at the age of 10. I figured this would be about 5 minutes long, so I watched it for about 5 minutes. And it just kept going, so I looked it up. This goes on for like half an hour. And so I did not want to watch it. When I got back, I destroyed my mob farm because it was just ugly. Now, originally when I edited this, the time lapses were looking super laggy. I realize now it was just because of my computer and not because they're actually laggy. Otherwise, I would have put a time lapse on this part too. So instead of time lapse, I'll just go 3, 2, 1, boom. I got that pretty good. I wasn't exactly sure where the jump was. Yeah, I replaced all the sand with dirt, which meant I was now halfway ready to go and start building an actual city. Or town. I shouldn't call it a city. I should call it a town. So I started out by making, I guess you could sort of say like a template for where the houses were going to go. My idea was to make 15 different houses for villagers. I also wanted them to overhang this riverbank sort of hill right here because I wanted them to have wooden posts that went down so it looked like these poles were holding up the houses. I just thought that would look cool. And so that's why I started making 8x8s. I think that was an 8x10 because I wasn't paying attention. I don't remember exactly. But I'll just kind of skip through this, show you progress as I go. Here's 4 of them so far. I wanted to make it the best looking I could. I didn't want all of the houses to be like right in line. I also had to go out and get trees, I guess. I don't remember why I found this horse again, but I found him, so I brought him back. And originally I was going to put him in here because I need him somewhere. And then I went, nope, not going to put him in here. We're going to put him in the taco truck. Because what's a more respectable way to respect the fallen taco man than to put a dead horse inside his bus? It only makes sense. So I put the horse in here. I spent forever getting him in here. Almost suffocated like 6 different times. But eventually it worked. And then it was back to building houses. Here's me completing, I think, the last one. I wasn't sure what these I wasn't sure what these houses were going to look like yet. I've been talking too long without water. But I really liked the positioning of all of them. I knew that if I could get a good looking house, then it was really going to start to look like a little town here. and way better than the actual villager towns, because I hate how the actual villager towns look. They're so boring, just kind of ugly in my opinion. So after I did all of that, which actually took quite a while, I watched the sunset in fast motion. And I think this is like 10 times speed, and it still takes forever. Which makes sense, because the days are like 10 minutes long, nights are 10 minutes long. But yeah, I watched the sunset. And then after I was done watching the sunset / the stars come out, I started chopping wood. Or I chopped wood, and then I started, I don't even know what this is called, carving wood? Shearing wood? Stripping wood, that's what it's called, stripping, because it's called stripped. So yeah, this is kind of what I want it to look like, having posts go down on the edges that would hold up the houses. And then I wanted the logs to come out on the side like this, but I realized all of the houses were too close to each other to do that. And so I would just have to have the poles coming straight up. And overall, I just suck at building. I tried so long. I tried adding texture to this to try and make it look good. It didn't look terrible, but it just wasn't looking good. So instead, I finished the taco truck. This is it. It looks so good with the little checkered canopy on top. It doesn't match the vibe of the rest of the village at all, but I just love it. I did follow a tutorial. Well, I didn't follow a tutorial. I found a picture of a taco truck in Minecraft, and then I copied 95% of it. So I shouldn't say like that was my original idea, but it was still super cool, and I really liked how it turned out. I don't think I've been here yet in the video. I'm trying to think. No. Okay, so I haven't mentioned it, but I've been breeding villagers this entire time. This might look like a lot. That's not a lot of villagers at all. This place is going to be booming with them eventually. All I have to do is feed and breed and feed and breed and feed and breed. I'm going to say that so many more times throughout this video because it rhymes, and it's a good rhyme. Anyways, I found carrots were the best way to breed them. I don't think I've said that. As I said earlier, I already recorded the voiceover for this entire video once, and I'm doing it again. And so I can't remember what I've said already and what I haven't said all the time. So if I repeat anything, my bad. Just stick with me. Yeah, assuming I could keep up on their food, which I couldn't. There wasn't enough food to keep them fed every day. But if I was able to keep them fed every day, their population can increase by 50%. Or more, possibly more every day. I think it's only once. I'm just going to say 50%. I know it's a guaranteed at least 50% every day, which meant that getting 70 villagers wasn't going to be very hard. I needed 30 villagers because I had 15 villager houses, so I wanted a couple of villagers in every one of the villager houses, and then I would have 40 villagers in the villager trading hall. I can't remember if I said this already. All of the houses would have a different type of villager in them. So, you got like the shepherd villager, the fisher villager, the smithing villager. Each house would have 2 types, or 2 of every type of villager, except the librarian. There would be the 40 different types of librarians, or the librarians with the 40 different trades in my trading hall. I just didn't have a trading hall yet. We'll get to that on like day 300. I promise it's coming. Eventually, I
I'm
brought
just gonna use it for
Finito,
floors.
also known as Branson,
That's
into the
it.
server. This is my brother, who's probably better at building than me. Well, at least building like original designs. I didn't know how to make this look good, and I couldn't find anything I liked. So I brought him in, just like through the LAN, to build me a house. I'm not listening to any of the gameplay with sound on right now because I'm recording my voice. So if he's like talking over me right now,
I need you to bring me
that's
some
kind
cobble.
of annoying, but whatever. I don't have time to edit it because I leave for Florida in like
I need cobblestone
4 days. So yeah, he came into the server.
for something.
We'll just let him build the house. We'll come
build.
back later to check up on him. While he does that, I just gotta do some more breeding and some more feeding. Not only of villagers, but also of pigs, because pigs are awesome. mostly just for food source. The pigs were making the game super laggy, which I don't really care about. I'm used to the lag. However, Branson is not used to the lag and was complaining. So after feeding all of my pigs, I did a little bit of population control. And even after killing all of the adults, there were still so many babies. Just so many babies. I don't even know how many. I had to have killed at least 10 babies on accident, and we still had like, what, 30, 40 pigs in here? Yeah, maybe not 40. I think there's got to be like 30 of them in here, though. There are just so many pigs.
I think it made the front hallway too long.
It definitely helped with the lag, though. The lag went down, and he was able to finish the house. This was the original idea of the house. I didn't like this front entryway. He said he didn't love it either. He wasn't exactly sure how to change it.
Yeah, I'm going to cut this in half.
So we just cut off like 2 layers off the front.
I already have one.
Got rid of this part. Just had to shorten it a little bit. I still want it to come out a little bit because I liked the idea he was going with. It was just a little too much. It would also take
I'll take one.
10, 15, 20% extra resources to make it come out that much. So the smaller we can make it while still giving it enough room on the inside is ideally the way we want to go with these houses. So
it should.
We finished that, and then I started building the inside. I wasn't exactly sure how to do not the roof, the ceiling. The biggest thing I had to worry about was making it so that I could get into the houses while villagers couldn't get out and zombies couldn't get in. Now, you can't just do that with trapdoors very easily, but I didn't know about the trapdoor trick yet, and so I used slabs for the longest time. And the slabs worked fine. It doesn't let you run in and out of the house. You have to shift to get in and out. But overall, this looks pretty good. This is basically it, other than there's birch planks down here. So, Branson originally wanted the birch, I think. I can't remember. We recorded this almost a month ago. And so I got rid of that, and then I also still extended all of the wooden poles on the corners because I wanted it to look like it was being held up. I really did think that that would look the best, and that's what it looks like. I do think it looks good like that. So now the rest of this, I'll just kind of skip through, show you guys what's going on. As you can see, each of the houses is at like the same point of development. This is because I obviously didn't have the layout of the first house memorized. And so I do like the same wall. I look at this one. So right here, I'm looking at the roof. And then I'd go do that part of the roof on this house. And then after I do that small part of the roof on this house, I go do it on the next house. And it was a process. The first 8 houses or so that I did all like this. But then after I built all of these ones, I didn't have to go back and look at the build every time for the rest of them. I had it pretty much memorized at that point, which made it a lot easier. It still took a really long time to do because the roofs were weird. At night, I was confused what was happening here for a second. So every night, I would go and kidnap villagers or steal villagers. It's only stealing because they're adults. Kidnapping is for the baby ones. But I found out that night was the best time to steal the villagers from their breeding pit because you could just wake up one at a time, and then you didn't have a bunch of villagers running around trying to get in your boat or in the way of your boat. And so I just bring them over to the door, and then I'd like block them in and open the door. And then once they were inside the door, I would put planks in front of the door so that I'd get in and out and they couldn't get in and out. And that's pretty much what I did for the rest of days until day 200. I don't know what day this is right now. I didn't make notes for this video. I'm sorry about that. But I was able to complete it all by day 200. I thought it was going to be pretty close, and it was very close. I think it was like on day 198, 199. I don't think it was on day 200, but it was very close to the end that I was able to finally get 2 villagers in every single house. As you can see right here, this is just me building the roofs, which was a very slow process because, well, 1, I'm bad at building, and 2, it's just a very slow process. I still think the biggest problem with all of this was 1, the stairs. I would accidentally lay them wrong, and so they would be angled wrong. And then the other annoying part is getting the villagers in the houses. Now, looking back, I could have just got in this boat and rowed him in, but I didn't realize that at the time. This would have gone so much faster if I had the knowledge I had now. But I didn't realize I could have done that with all the villagers. And so to get them in there, a lot of times I would get like a compost barrel or some job site for the villagers and put in there and hope that they run to it. But they didn't even always run to it, so it didn't always work. And then the last reason it took so long was for stuff like this. There is no reason whatsoever that I need to move these guys' beds around. But I moved them around anyways, just because, I wanted them to all be very compact, I guess. It doesn't look bad, but it definitely doesn't look good. This villager breeding pit thing, whatever you want to call it, obviously won't exist in the end of the village. And here's the village as of day 200. Originally, this was going to be the end of the video, but as you can see, there's still almost 9 minutes left in this video. And we're going to zoom through 100 days in just that time. As these projects go on, or as the days go on in this video series, I start doing bigger and bigger projects, and so I can skip through bigger sections of days in shorter amounts of time. And hopefully that's more interesting content to watch. So yeah, there's the lighthouse. I just love showing it off because it works. All of the houses in the village look really good. Their windows don't have any glass yet, but other than that, they're all completely done. And there we go. Let's get going. Here's my cat. I said we'd come back to this. My cat's name is Raid. So it's a joke because cat in Spanish is gato. So it's like Gatorade, Gatorade. It's a stupid joke, I know. But it's funny, so you guys can at least pretend to laugh. Now, I'm building the villager trading hall, which took very long for several reasons. One, I didn't have any of the supplies when I very first started. There were a lot of oak planks for the floor, which I didn't have any oak wood yet. There was a lot of spruce wood for like the stripes on the outside, and I didn't have any of that. Luckily, there were both of those forests pretty close by. I guess I did have a lot of stuff for the roof. So the roof is made of deep slate cobblestone, like variations of it. So I did have that stuff. And then I also had... Did I have anything else? No, I think that's it, because that's like all this house is built out of, or this trading hall, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, it took a while, but it looks really good. I found a picture of one that I kind of liked, and then I copied most of it. The only problem was it was a picture from the front, and I couldn't find picture. I think there was a video tutorial, but I didn't just want to watch a tutorial because that would take too long. So I had to design the sides of the building myself, and then I also had to completely change the bottom just because I didn't like how it looked. Or not completely changed, but I kind of wrapped it around the building rather than just have it on one side. I like how mine looks better than the one in the picture, even though they're essentially the same. And yeah, this was just a super long process. This is probably already at least 30 days. Well, maybe not 30. But we start at day 200. Yeah, this has got to be at least like day 225. I was really scared while recording this because about right here, I ended an 8-hour recording session. Not on purpose, though. As I said earlier, my computer automatically gets unplugged. Or it doesn't automatically get plugged. It automatically dies if it gets unplugged. And that happened. And when I opened up the file, it said it was corrupted. And that was 8.5 hours of content. And I was like, oh no, I just did so much. It was the end of the world, pretty much. And so, luckily, there was a button that said I could fix it. Here's me designing the side of the house. Luckily, there's a thing that said I could fix it. And so I pressed that button, and it took like 20 minutes to supposedly fix my file. And then it finished. It said, unable to fix file. And I was like, no, why? I just went through so much effort. luckily, somehow I opened it up later and it was completely fine. It wasn't corrupted, so I was very happy about that. So as you know, we had 30 total villagers. We put 2 villagers in each house. Unfortunately, when I was... Oh, it's also... Raid was killed by an evoker. That was very sad. You could see it back there a second ago. I didn't really care about that cat very much, though, so I don't really care. So as you can see, these houses don't have windows, and so the flying fairy things, I think they're called Vexes, but I'm not sure about that. A few Vexes got into the villager houses and killed them, I think. That's the only way I can think they died. And so I did lose a few villagers. I also died right here. I forgot to mention, somewhere in the last 5 minutes of this video, my hearts went from hardcore to normal hearts. And you'll remember earlier on that that's because I died in the nether. But I found a way to fix it. So that was good. I also spent a long time strip mining for more diamonds. That's how I have full diamond armor again. Unfortunately, that diamond armor will not stay for the rest of this video, which I'm very sad about. The reason I was killing all of the iron golems was to make those lanterns that I was just placing on the outside of the building. It was the best way for me to get iron. With how many of them spawn, it's so easy to get them. And yeah, here's me placing the glass so that no more Vexes will kill my villagers. I spent a few days trying to get more trades to put all of my villagers in the trading hall. I maybe got 10 of them in the end. I think you'll actually show me later. But they were being really stubborn. Sometimes I'd have to lay like 6 different lecterns just for them to walk to one of them. And then other times I'd lay a lectern and they'd instantly take the job. So I don't know why this is, but after playing around with this for a little while, I would get the trades I want, and then I'd row them over into the hall. Took forever, but it worked. I'm recording this as of day 400. I finished playing day 400 just like an hour and a half ago. And I still don't have all of the villager trades. Maybe I shouldn't have said that. I could have used that as like a anticipation tactic to make people stay till the end of the next video. But I'm very close. It takes super long the more trades you get, because the odds of getting a trade that you don't already have decreases every time. Right here, I'm building a string duper. I don't know if you guys consider this cheating, but I do not consider it cheating. Mojang knows that it's a feature, and so we're going to call it a feature. I mean, they know it's a thing and they haven't fixed it, so I honestly think it's just going to be considered a feature, and I'm going to feel okay doing this. Especially because I'm going to need to do this. Well, I don't have to do it this way. There's one other way I could have made the project that I have in the future, in my mind in the future with this, or without this. Everything I just said doesn't make any sense. Let me just restart. Basically, I have an idea for a project in the future, and the strings are the best way I can think to complete it. There's one other way I could do it, but it wouldn't be quite as fast, so I like this the best. Yeah, there we have 9 of the 40 books that I need. I don't know if mending was in there, so I might actually have 10. But as of day 286, that's the day this is right now. As of day 286, I'm about 25% of the way through the villager trades. The rest of this video is going to be very, very stupid. So I decided to go to the nether. And I'm live on TikTok right now. So I go in the nether, and then I check my phone to just, see what chat is saying. And so I'm not paying attention to my screen. And then I look up, and I was so confused because I didn't even know that those guys were called Vindicators. I actually didn't even know that until I just looked up right now. And so I wasn't even really mad. I was just kind of laughing. I was like, what just happened? I looked down for literally 5 seconds, and then I look back up, and I'm dead. So I lost my diamond armor, but I got it back pretty quickly, so it didn't really matter. I lost a bunch of levels, but that's the only thing I really lost there. And then the rest of the video was just me dying over and over in the end. And one of the times I lost my diamond armor at the top of one of these things. I went back to get it with these totems of undying, but unfortunately it didn't work. So that's going to be the end of the video. I know it's a super sad ending, me dying in the nether, or at the end, but I'll post the other one tomorrow. So by the time you're seeing this, it's probably already posted. So click on the video that's showing on your screen right now, and you can see how we get all of this back. Thank you guys for watching this video. I'll be back with more very soon.